Welcome back to the Madhouse. And if there is anybody in the chat, as normal, can you just let me know if the stream is okay, if you can see me, if you can hear me? I would be very grateful. I don't get the kind of information that I need to actually decide whether or not the stream is working well enough. So if you could let me know if there's somebody there, just send me a message in the chat. Okay, so it's decision time today, and we have 2 transfer windows. There was only one, but we had a late entry, and now there are 2 that we have to consider when we're looking at where we go from here. One of the things that I have decided, though, is that playing the game in key highlights is not for me. And the reasons for that are twofold. Let's go to preferences, and I'm actually going to go back to how I used to play the game, and I'm going to put it into comprehensive highlights. And I still haven't done that little tick box which I need to do to stop this loading the image data for the skin every time I change something. So while that's going through it, why are the 2 reasons? There might be 3 while I think about it. The first reason is the fact that you are, when you're playing key highlights, you're playing the game in a way which you're allowing the game to control what's going on. That's the first reason. The amount of time that you have to input instructions is very limited. That's not how I ever played the game before YouTube. Since YouTube, I've had to change the way I play the game. And now it's all about every transfer window, just buy the best players and eventually you'll win trophies. It always works that way. But it's not, for me, the way that I would play football or manage a football team. And just accepting defeat after defeat after defeat without having any input into it is frustrating. The second reason is the imbalance in the highlights when you play in key highlights. And I actually played a game today which ended 0-0, where we had 12 highlights and couldn't score. And the opposition had 1 highlight and didn't score. And that's fine. We dominated the game but couldn't score. And then the very next game, we had 12 highlights and scored 1. And the opposition had 1 highlight and scored 1. And it's the imbalance in the amount of highlights per team that is causing me distress. And so I'm going to go back to playing the game how I used to, analysing stuff and having a look at statistics at halftime and what's happening, because at the moment I don't seem to have any control over that. When I'm playing in key highlights, it's just getting results and moving on to the next game. So to stop me becoming more and more grumpy as I play this game, the reason for that is my own mistake and the fact that I'm just playing every game in key highlights. So we'll go back to playing in comprehensive. When you're winning a game, you can always go to key highlights to see it out. But we start every game now in comprehensive highlights. And then we get to see tactics, how they're working, how they're playing out. And things that we're vulnerable from, things that are working well. Interestingly, looking at this one, there are no jobs available in this save. And I can't remember who's sent this in. We're going to have a quick look. We'll go to load game, and we don't need to save it, so we'll go to Neil first. We had 1 from Neil and 1 from Andrew, so we're going to load up Neil's first and have a look at what Neil has done in the transfer window. I had actually started it, and I kind of decided I was going to go strikerless, because I'm finding that strikers are really difficult to come by. And I think that I get a sense from the 2 transfer windows that have come in that strikers are quite difficult to come by. We've got a ton of good attacking midfielders around, but no strikers really. So transfers in. or transfers out. Let's have a look who's gone out. Philip Billing has gone out to Qatar. Augustinson went out left back. Aarons has gone. He went for 25.5 million. Let's hope the money's been well spent here. Boyomo went out for 37.5 million here. Sensei went out. All my centre backs seem to have gone out here. Traore went out 34 million. Katara went out 22.5 million. Oh, and Crisp, my superstar goalkeeper of the future, he went to Luton for 41.5k. I wouldn't have let him go, but he's gone. A couple of young boys. Some more youngsters. Dragovski, he went out on loan. Gregory on loan. And Troy Parrott, he went finally for 16.75 million, rising to 70 million. So there's a ton of money. 161 million came in. There were 26 million already, and it doesn't look like there's much been spent, really. Unless, I think we might have to go back a season. Lot of money spent in June. Jamail Soliman, who's a DLP, a ball-winning midfielder. I'm guessing that the tactics changed a little bit. He's a ball-winning midfielder. There's a decent tackle on him. His marking isn't bad. He's quite aggressive. Probably going to get him into trouble quite a bit. But he's 19 years old. A lot of potential. So possibly a decent signing, that one. And he came in for... How much did he come in for? Where is he? Where is he? We want June. Here. He came in for 14.5 million. Mats Dahlberg, striker, I'm guessing. Yeah, striker, advanced forward, pacey, really pacey. Finishing, decent. Composure, decent. Looks like a good player. 18 years old, though, again, but has stunning current ability for 18, potential 5-star ability, probably a real star of the future, that boy. And Callan McKenna from Queen's Park Rangers came in. He's a goalkeeper, not the best, but again, a 20-year-old and plenty of bags of potential for the future. So again, a very good signing, I think. And where are we here? Lewis Potter, Kane Lewis Potter came in from Sheffield United. £29 million this one. I'm guessing paid for up front. He's an attacking mid, a winger. Very decent player. Looks like he has very tidy attributes. Probably a good, solid signing at 26. He's not going to improve much, but a very good signing, I think. Then Ashley Phillips, 24 million. Central defender. Again, 22 years old. Bags of development left ahead of him. He's very strong, good physicals. Mentals, not bad, but he's not very aggressive. And his technicals need a little bit of work, I think. So nice signing. A lot of young players have come in here. It's a nice little squad. Then Mark Hope came in from Sunderland for 15.5 million. Defensive midfielder, ball-winning midfielder again. Good tackle, can mark a little bit. Mentals are pretty good. Lacks aggression though for a ball winner. But that might be handy. So, also good physicals for his 19 years of age. Good player, I think. Good signing. And Ferdo Perkovic Santor. He's come in from Rijeka for 3.4 million. He's a goalkeeper again. 19 years old. Another young player. Very nice player. Max Johnston from Brighton, 13.25 million. Right back, very useful. Can cross, can dribble. I think he's more of an attacking wing back than he is a support wing back or a defensive wing back. Could be a very good player. And Kusiewicz has come in, a winger, come striker. Another 19-year-old. Lots of 19-year-olds have come in. This is a team that could build for a future. So it's probably not a potential title challenging team this year, but for the future, with a couple of years under their belt, these players could do very, very well. Samuel Acosta, 2.8 million. Midfielder, I like the look of him. Very, very good player, I think. Bags of potential. Again, 18 years old. And Neil has done some good work here in finding young talent to bring in. He's a first-team player already. He's exceptional first touch and technique. And central midfielder, probably a very good signing. Excellent signing. And then moving on to this season, we brought in Habib Ogwin from Middlesbrough for 10 million. He's also a right back. I seem to recall we had him on loan, I think, didn't we? We had him on loan. Yeah, we had him on loan. Played also as a centre-back. He can play as a centre-back. He's 6 foot. He's not the greatest in terms of his heading ability, but great centre-back for covering duty because he's got bags of pace on him. So he is a possible right back or centre back. Tom Holding came in from Newcastle on a free. Again, 19 years old, bags of potential for the future. Central defender, probably not quite ready yet for first team duties. But again, he's a very good signing for the future, I think. Luke Chambers came in from Liverpool on a free. Another full back on the left. Can cross the ball fairly decently. He's got decent mentals and decent physicals, and that's much more important for this team than the technicals are. So he's probably a very good signing for 11.5 million. 23 years old again. This is going to be a very young team if we take this one. Finlay McAllister, again, I think we had him on loan. I'm pretty sure that we had him on loan. Yeah, he was on loan. He's come in now for 14.25 million. I wasn't extremely impressed with any of the players that played last season. I think that if the tactic has changed, then perhaps they'll be playing much more in a familiar position. Can also cover at right back and at right wing, which is also very useful. And then David Brewster's come in from Wolves for 22.5 million. Right winger, central midfielder. Useful player. Has a brilliant ability in terms of passing. His technique is good. I'd like to see him play as an advanced playmaker out on the right. I'd love to see that. He's got very good mentals for this level, and I think he's a very good signing as well. 19 years old again. This is a team full of youngsters. And I do believe that the tactic has changed. Neil has changed the tactic. And this is a very interesting setup with the advanced forward up front with an inside forward on the left, supported by a wing back on the left. Have a Mazzala in midfield with a deep-lying playmaker. Interesting, two creative type players in midfield. And then you have shadow striker and an inside forward. And I'm guessing the shadow striker is just going to be, his job is to bomb into the box. The inside forward cutting inside with the ball. A wing back on support coming up outside. The Mazzala coming out into these areas, patrolling this area. This is where, with the wing back coming up in support as well, plus the advanced forward in these areas, this is where we might be looking to exploit an overload here, freeing up space for goal scoring on this side. I don't know how this tactic will play out. It'll be absolutely really interesting to see it. And so looking at what happened in pre-season, excellent. I'm not sure there's Rangers. 3-3 was a very, very good result. The only draw in there, but that's a really good result away at Rangers. I think, are they a Chinese team? 7-0. So although there are not many big teams in here, it's been a very, very good pre-season. In terms of the squad planner itself, Goalkeepers were probably a little bit short, but not something I'd really worry about, given that Crisp was just a half a star and came in and did extremely well. Not something I'd probably worry about. Plenty of cover on the right, and plenty of cover on the left. This is where we really might struggle, because we only have the two centre-backs with Ashley Phillips. So we got three centre-backs. And I just wonder if it's just not quite enough. Mepham and Zabarnil were not particularly brilliant last season, but hopefully they've got over that now and we'll have a better season. But I think we might be short in terms of a central defender. Bearing in mind that we're not going to be in the Cups for very long, and we're not in Europe, so we only have about 40 games to 42 games to worry about. We don't need a huge squad. Midfield left, we seem to be okay. Midfield right, we seem to be fine as well. Attacking mid on the right, we're pretty good. Attacking mid on the left is also an area that does concern me a little bit. But we also may well get in Adam Hojsek, who is a forward come left winger, attacking mid, very versatile, very good forward, plenty of pace again. And so if he comes in, then that will solve the problem on the left and up front. But we are being told already that we have poor positional depth up front, because we've really only got the one striker. We have these two young boys, but just at 19 years old, they're not going to be anywhere near ready for the big time. His composure is only 8, so he's not going to have the greatest of seasons. I think he's out on loan, isn't he? Yeah, so he's not there. So certainly we need another striker in. Hojsek is hopefully coming in, and that would solve the problem with that striker. I wonder then where we may need to get someone else in. Attacking mid, I think what this tactic needs is another striker and another central defender, and I think that will be done then. I think it will be a very, very good tactic. As I say, I think that overloads are going to be created in this area of the pitch, and I wonder whether there was a lot of goals from balls that come across the penalty area for these two players, who this guy is going to be ending up here and then he's going to be coming into the box here, and I wonder if those two are going to be scoring a lot of goals. I don't know. It'd be quite fun to see how it works out. Familiarity with the tactic is very good. It's something that I haven't played. Pass into space. It's a much more direct, higher tempo, focusing play down the flanks. I can understand why, because the strength is out here. No instruction in terms of work the ball into the box, shoot on sight. Run at defence, but be more disciplined, and a positive mentality. Counter press and counter. This is fine because this team have learned how to counter and counter press, although it is a different looking team. But here's where it gets me. It's a low block, and with that kind of press, I was thinking it would be a high press, but it's a mid block, and it's not something that I play with generally, a mid block, but will be an interesting experience. And then everything else is left unchecked. I would personally check stop crosses, but that's what the tactic is. And so far in pre-season, it's been very successful. And so I think we need to move on to the second one. And the second one, let's say no. The second one has come in from Andrew. And Andrews, I did have a quick look at Andrews, and it's very, very interesting because he's gone back to how we played before. He's gone back to the 4-1-2-2-1, and that's quite an interesting move on the part of Andrew. So in terms of transfers, let's look at transfers out. Billing has gone, Sumare went, Clivert has gone, Adja Dragowski, Gregory, Golding, a lot of players went out, but only raised 48 million as opposed to the 126 million that was raised in the other save, but spent 74 million. If we go back, nothing happened before June. These were later transfers. 27th of June was the first one. Camason came in from Manchester United on a free. Again, another youngster, bags of potential, but for me, lacking a little bit in terms of first team quality. Interesting signing. He's probably one for the future, but not for now. Came in on a free. Alfie Dorrington came in from Tottenham, central defender. Good mentals. I like his mentals. Teamwork's a bit suspect, but overall his mentals are really good. He's good in the air. He's 6'2", good in the air. Very strong boy. Good tackle on him. Decent tackle, decent marking. But it's his mentals that I like. He's probably going to be a very good signing. He came in for... He's actually on a loan, £3.3 million loan. And then Massa Ndor came in from Metz for 12 million. I think he's a forward, isn't he? Yeah. 18 years old. He's by no means the finished article, but already has finishing 17, composure 15, technique 16. And as a forward with a bit of pace, he doesn't have the pace, so he would probably be looking at playing as a deep lying forward or a poacher. And he's got goals in him in the future, but I don't know if he's got goals in him yet. Warren Zaire-Emery came in from PSG. He's come in for £30 million. You'd expect your money's worth from him. Again, 21 years old. He's got bags of potential. He's already reached a value of up to 97 million just by signing his contract. He's got very good first touch passing. Vision is extremely good. A very good deep line playmaker. His mentals for 21-year-old are outstanding, and he will develop into some player eventually. Having a look at his weaknesses, is about heading and jumping reach. And he is lacking in attacking movement as well. He's a very good player, I think. He's going to be an exceptional player in the future. His price tag justifies that. Avramov has come in from Levski for 3 million. He's a left winger. Probably best played as an inside forward, if you ask me. His finishing is outstanding with his composure. Got to be an inside forward on attack. Lacks a little bit of pace, so maybe with his passing and vision, he'd be a very good advanced playmaker on attack as well. So definitely bags of potential in this 19-year-old. You guys have brought in a lot of young boys, and he looks like an exceptional player. Hey Andy, how are you doing? And then we have Michele Di Gregoria. He's come in from Brianze for 25 million. Goalkeeper. Looks like a very, very good goalkeeper. Absolutely no doubts about him. Looks like an extremely good goalkeeper. Passing and kicking are even decent, which is unusual to find. 30 years old now, but plenty of years left in him. I think he would be a very good signing. And then Ethan Dubos is a left back. Again, 19 years old. Although he's 3.5-star potential, I don't think he's ready for first team football. His mentals are not bad. His technicals are poor. But his physicals are not bad. He's got good jumping reach, but his heading doesn't match his jumping reach. So he's definitely one for the future. And DOF. Oh, Director of Football Signing. Dubos. So Dubos, that was, wasn't it? Yeah, he's definitely one for the future. And then this is the interesting one for me, Mauro Icardi, and this comes like, look at his mentals, his technicals. He's been a great player, but he's now 34 years old, and so he's not going to be starting every game. And this is where you need to have. For me, he's probably one of the best impact subs that I've seen in a long time. And the reason for that is his stamina and strength. It's so low now. His physicals have completely gone. His technically still a brilliant player. And for me, he would be a great impact sub, I think. When you desperately need someone who can score goals with his finishing 18, his composure 18. He's just a lovely, technically gifted footballer. And unfortunately, though, his physicals have gone. So he's probably a good impact sub signing. I don't know what you signed him on. In terms of you've signed him as an important player, so he wants to play every game. And I don't know if his physicals are going to allow him to do that. That's going to be quite interesting. I think it was on this one that I noticed something interesting, which caught my eye. I wonder if I can find it. Is it in here or scouted players? If I go and look for a forward, and somebody is available on a free, it's not that one. It might not have been this save then, because I did notice that Macaulay Longstaff is available on a free transfer. And I was thinking, oh my goodness me. If I'm desperate for a striker, would you have to bring him in? In terms of players coming in, there's nothing coming in at the moment. So if we look at the squad planner, little bit short, I would say, at goalkeeper, but that's fine. Right back, we're pretty decent at right back. Left back, probably going to get away with it. Central defence, probably okay. And in midfield, I'm going to guess again, probably okay. Hey, Techno. I nearly did it for a wind-up. Yeah, that would have been a wind-up, that one. And then centre midfield, pretty good. Attacking, I think we're a little bit short up front on the left wing, although Fevar can play as a left winger, but he's not very good. But he would be okay, I think, as a left winger. And then attacking mid, we're pretty good. And up top is again where perhaps we're lacking a bit. The main striker for me would be Troy Parrott or Avramov. And Avramov, is he really a striker? He's got finishing of 19 and composure of 14. Is he really a striker, though, or is he an inside forward? And he's only 19 years old. So I think we're looking at, is Icardi going to actually do the business here as an important player, a 34-year-old? Or are we going to be more reliant on Troy Parrott, who doesn't have Icardi's finishing and expertise? I don't know. It's a tricky one. We have to look at Troy Parrott's playing time. He's just a fringe player, and I have a funny feeling that Icardi might not cut the mustard, and so he will end up with Avramov being the top strikers. Where do we need possibly someone who can play across that line and be a striker as well? And I don't know. I think I'd probably like to get in a centre back. There's money available. Oops. 15 million still available to spend, and 200,000 in wage budget, so could bring in 2 decent players for that money. The other one has 8 million, I think, available, but is 40k above, or 4,000 above the wage budget. So we have to make a choice. The tactics here are the 4-1-2-2-1, and in pre-season didn't have the greatest of starts, but Zurich, I guess, are a pretty good team, but then it's performed reasonably well. Familiarity with the tactic, they're very familiar, about the same as the other one. So I don't know which one to go for. It's a tough decision, but I have to make a decision. Because we can't play them both. Boy. Let's just look at the squad planner for this. And for central defense is a bit of a worry. And also the DLP role is a little bit of an issue. But good cover, I guess. So maybe we're looking here for a player. The other thing is the players who are wanted. And could we sell more players? Max Aarons is wanted. He's got a value of 32 million. We're not going to get that for him, but could possibly think about selling Max Aarons. He had an awful season. Troy Parrott is wanted, and he's got a price tag of 13.5 to 14.5. We're not going to get that for him either. Loan status, I put unavailable for loan. I'm not going to be letting him go on loan. So there is money to be raised. You were off, you refused it, did you? Interesting. So there are players who could be sold. I was thinking that Breno, if we could get a cheap goalkeeper, Breno has a good price tag on him as well, up to 26 million. The only problem is that we only get 55% of what comes in, so you've got to take that into account. So if we did sell somebody for 26 million, we're only going to get 14 million. And I think what I want to do is, at this point, make is to make a board request to increase the transfer revenue. So that's that, which is, I mean, on the surface, if the players, this one is looking at last year's players. There's a lot of last year's players here. So Biomo, for example, he is a central defender as well. So if we go to the squad planner, Biomo is listed as a right back, but he is a very good central defender. So whether or not we'd actually be short at central defender, because Biomo can play very nicely as a central defender. He is right back, but still a 3.5 star central defender. Although he's quite small, he'd make a very, very good. His jumping reach is good, and his heading is good. His pace, he'd make a very good central defender on cover. In midfield, we have the same bunch as we had before. Esposito, Adams, Scott, I think, is still here, isn't he? Yeah, Alex Scott, James McAtee. So the hope, I guess, is that they've learned to play. They've learned to play with each other. That's, I guess, what Andy was hoping here. I like it. I've got to admit, going back to the 4-1-2-2-1 fills me with dread, because I have a funny feeling the game doesn't want me to play the 4-1-2-2-1. This one is a high press with a standard line. Step up more, which of course I would do. and then holding shape. So this is again the reliance on holding shape, which is always a good thing, or at least before the update. I have a funny feeling this is not working as well since the update. And again, shorter passing, time wasting, and this underlap on the left. And this has always worked for me, but it seems to have stopped working just recently. So I like that one. I'm very fond of it. And some very, very good signings, some great young players. But if we go, where is that button that says, you got to click for a button for when you reload the skin. Let's go to all. There's a button here that stops it from reloading the skin every time you change something. Where is that? And I can't find it. Somebody must know where it is. Because every time I change a setting, it's reloading the skin. And that's happened since the update. And I can't find it anywhere. And that's all of them. So go to the skin. There's no button here. There's no button here which will allow me to... Hey, Andy. How you doing, my friend? I cannot find this button. I guess I'm stuck with the... skin color. Automatically override custom panels. No, can't find it anywhere. So I guess I'm stuck. If I change a preference, then it's going to change the skin, and we're going to have to sit through that minute while it loads up the skin again. I've forgotten what I was going to change in there. Advanced skin, untick the reload skin option. God, I used to think I knew where these things were. Advanced skin. I still can't find that button. I'm on skin. There is no button. There's show in-game editor in the menu bar. I don't have the editor. So advanced skin, untick the reload skin option. There isn't one. Unless I'm not seeing it. Ah, this one. Oh, that's the little thing that's causing all the problems, is it? I can't remember now what I was going to change in preferences for this one. But I kind of like this tactic. I kind of always have liked this tactic, and I like the transfers that have been done. I think that we need to bring some more players in, but I think that there's some good players in here. Icardi, yes, he's a very good player. He does worry me, though, that we might be reliant on Parrott and that young striker, Avramov, who's currently injured, which is not a good sign. He's going to be out for 11 days. Is he more, for me, he's an impact sub. He's 34 years old, but he's a very good player. He's a very good finisher. And I wonder if he should be playing as a poacher. For me, is he a poacher? Just sit there. Sit in the box. Don't worry about coming deep to get the ball. Just sit in there and use your finishing. That for me is what I would probably do with him rather than a deep lying forward. He just doesn't have the energy, I don't think, to be roaming around here. Although he's got the technical ability to play it. It's his physicals that are going to let him down. I'll probably play him as a poacher. Just don't worry about defending. Just stay in the box near the goal and use your quality finishing and off the ball that you've got. I guess that's what I'd want him to do. However, as a poacher, he's going to need to move off the shoulder of his defenders. And I don't know if he's got that ability. So this might be the better position for him. Interesting. And just go back to the other one. Oh, that's what I was going to do, is load the game. Let's go back to Neil. And Neil has, I don't know where Neil is. It might put him at a disadvantage in the fact that he's not here. Neil's is good, and it's an interesting tactic. It's for me, a very attacking tactic. There are 4 attacking players up front, 2 on support. This defense is going to need to be good because there's going to be spaces in here. And so they're going to have to be good as a defensive unit. There's going to need to step up more, I guess, because there's a big space there. And we could get caught out quite a lot. Although on the other, I mean, he has made some absolutely class signings. Mats Dahlberg, who is finishing 16, and his physicals are absolutely exceptional. His pace is blistering. And now for me, having him sitting on the shoulder of the defenders and using that pace, that would be phenomenal. I'm just kind of going to have a quick look at if we made the attacking midfielders left, attacking midfield right. Do we have enough players who can play as the midfielder right? He'd make a perfect midfielder right. So Keane Lewis Potter, David Brewster can also play in that position. So if we actually go and make this into how would that look in terms of the squad planner? Which would be this one. Again, it's up front that we're being told we just don't have enough cover. That's okay. It's a bit weak in terms of Alex Scott. Is pretty much out on his own. Again, here on the left wing, we've got Dahlberg, who's out on his own. So we do need someone who can play across the line and as a forward, except if we get Hojsek in, then he will cover as the forward. He can also play as the left winger. He would be a good signing. I think an exceptional left winger, because his finishing isn't brilliant. For me, he'd be exceptional on the left-hand side. Playing this tactic, I think this would work. If we go and have a look at the squad view, we have enough players in depth, except, as I said, up front. I think I would use Hojsek as a midfielder rather than a forward. And I think he can also play as a centre mid. I'm not sure, but I think, yeah, he can play as a centre mid as well. Would make a very good shadow striker with those attributes. Has good aggression, extremely good pace, and pretty good passing and vision. So I think he'd make a very good shadow striker. Good long shot. So, yeah, I think he would make a good player in here. And then we could look for another striker. So, I don't know, guys. Which one do we want to go with? Andy's or Neil's? Let's get some stuff from the chat. What do you think, guys? What do you think would be the best one to go with? If we put this back to what Andy Neil had. This tactic worries me in that there might be a lot of space. Hey Saul, how you doing, my friend? Yeah, everything went okay. Still got a bit of a scar here, which is healing, but everything's fine. Something I have to go through from time to time. But all good. And we're back and up and running. So what do you guys think? What do you... I mean, this is an interesting tactic, but it doesn't have to be the one that's used because they are capable of playing the 4-1-2-2-1. And they're very familiar with the 4-4-2-1. This gives us the option. For me, this is an attacking system. And if you're actually losing a game, then you just push these lines up and push men forward, because you could even put him on attack. You really want to get goals, just push everybody forward. It's a really good attacking system, I think. Defensively might be a little bit vulnerable. What do you think, guys? Which one should we go with? Andy, do you feel confident that... let's have a look at what the club vision is. That you will finish mid-table. Do you feel absolutely confident? You like the look of Neil's, Andy, do you? This is Neil's. It's a very attacking. It's a very, very attacking system. And Andy's tactic is interesting. I mean, I like them both. I'm having real trouble. This has gone back to the 4-1-2-2-1. I like it, and we've brought in a very good goalkeeper here. We have 3 good centre backs, 1 youngster on loan who's a decent centre back. Probably will do a nice job, better job than the older boys. This is a tactic that's been used. What do you mean, like do 2 live streams, Andy, one after the other? We could certainly import the tactic into this one. It's really just moving this geezer up here, isn't it? Into that attacking wing spot, and then bringing him up into midfield. So I can't see why that couldn't happen. I think it just becomes about who has made... I can't remember where that was now. I think, oh yeah, Esposito's down here. I think it really comes down to who's made the best signings for me. It really looks like... And really it's for you guys. Which team? This one seems to be relying a lot on like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 players who were playing last year. So this one is really looking at, let's give the players from last year one last shot. Will they play better this year? We look at the dynamics. Cotero still wants to leave. He wanted to leave last season. So we could get some money, but we're not going to get 44 million for him. That's the thing. And the finances are going to be the same here, I guess, in terms of, yeah, we only get 55%, but we do have 15 million here, whereas we only have 8 million in the other one. I don't know. Icardi is the big worry. His agent is useless. um, oh, this is like driving me crazy, but Neil is not here, is he? So can't defend himself. So I was just kind of thinking, Andy, do you think that what you've done in the window and the tactic that you've decided to go with and switch in-game to Neil's, yeah, I mean, that sounds like a plan. So use the high press, this one, with a more balanced style, and then switch if you need a goal. I mean, I think, yeah, that could be done. It's just simply moving these players up a little bit, and both players here can play here, and all the wingers here can play here. So I kind of agree with you, but I would say I need a forward. I definitely need a forward, I think. We got to like try and find a forward. We got money. Have you spent any money on the Never Never, Andy? Or have you paid up front for all of them? So we got 15 mil. If we go to scouted players, I'm finding strikers very difficult to find. It's something that I'm not used to. Because strikers usually are quite easy to find, but I'm finding them very difficult to find in FM24. We could make a bid for Danilo. Now, he does look a bit pricey, but we could pay in installments. We could spend 12 million on him up front and use the rest as installments. He's exactly what we need. He can play across this line. He's exceptional forward, I think. Or Dahlberg, yeah, I mean, or Wilden. Wilden doesn't exist until 20 years in the future, Andy. I wish he did. So Danilo, pricey, but we probably somehow could do it. Everybody else is just a youngster. And then there is this Danny Gomez, 13 million. Again, he's very decent, and what I like about him is his mentals, although he's a bit selfish. His technique is extremely good. He's got the triumvirate here. He can play on the left wing, which is also necessary, and can, at a push, come in and play the shadow striker role. So another good player who's available, 13 to 15.5 million. In fact, let's put him on the short list. We could definitely afford to buy him. And then what we also need is a central defender, I think. No, possibly we're okay. Possibly we're okay at the back. DLP is fine. Centre mid is fine. So, yeah, I mean, there's more than enough cover there. Traore, Parrott. So maybe a left winger, but I'm sure we can bring in one more player to fill that role. So I think whose is this one? I can't remember now. Whose is this one with Icardi? So I'm just loading Andy's because I think, because Neil's not here, we have to go with Andy. But Andy still hasn't answered the question. Do you think this team can get mid-table, or are we going to be in a relegation battle again? What do you think? Are these players, these 9 players that you've retained as first-team players, are they good enough to get us a mid-table. What do you think, Andy? What do you think? Because I'm tempted. Let's go with this. Icardi is very interesting. I know it's a difficult one. Icardi is interesting. I don't think he's the first teamer. How long is his contract? Just 1 year. 34. Well, Ronaldo could still cut it at 37, 38, couldn't he? So why not Icardi? But unfortunately, his physicals are very poor. So we could get a striker in, put him on the bench. He's not going to be happy because he wants to be an important player. Yeah, I mean, there's like this boy, Avramov, finishing 19, composure 14. His physicals are good for his age. His mentals are developing lovely for his age. Technique 17. He's going to be a very, very good player and will get good game time. So he could come in. He's also a deep lying forward. So between them with Parrott on the other hand, we could sell. I don't know. I'm going to go with Andy's. Boyomo. Yeah, I think he is a very good player. Where did you play him, Stefan? As a right back or a centre back? So I'm also thinking we possibly need a centre back. Yeah, we need a striker and possibly a centre back. Because Boyomo is a good fit for the right back spot. Yeah, defender right. He's a really good defender right. So if we're going to play him as a defender right, we do need one central defender. Because if we've really only got two, Boyomo. Oh no, we've got three plus Dorrington. Boyomo isn't in there, so we're pretty good at centre back. It's interesting. But we are going to, I think, I actually, when I started it, I didn't finish it, but I started it, and I was thinking of going strikerless. Because it's so difficult to find strikers, and there are a ton of these boys who can play as attacking midfielders, shadow strikers. And I'm definitely going strikerless in my other save, because I've got 6 wonder kids across this who can play as shadow strikers. So I think that's the way to go with that one. But yeah, it's very difficult to find forwards. And it's topless. No, you definitely wouldn't like that, Andy. You definitely wouldn't like that. But I'm prepared to go with this. I think we'll try and get at least a striker in, and then once we see if we... Shall we make a bid for... Because I like the look of him. There's nothing wrong with him as a striker, and looks to me like a very good player, except probably not going to be able to find him now. Oh, where is he? Oh, don't say it didn't save it. Who was it? Oh, there's Dolberg. So Dolberg is already on the shortlist. Probably a very good player. Van Hooijdonk, not recommended. I just added one to the shortlist, and it has... Oh, there we go. Macaulay Langstaff is available on a free. on the surface of it, 15. His composure He's not a bad player. But Van Persie, I think a bit too expensive for us, isn't it? There was somebody called Van Persie. But again, you can see the strikers that have been found are pretty poor. And I actually put that bloke on the short list and it hasn't come up. Danilo. No, it wasn't Danilo. It was the next one down, wasn't it? Has he disappeared? He's disappeared. Danny Gomez. It was Danny Gomez. We can afford to buy him. So we could... I like his mentals. His mentals are good for a struggling team. And then he's got the technical ability to go with it. I kind of like him. He's 29 years old. The board won't like it. There are very few weaknesses. I think he'd be a decent signing. Can play as a deep line forward, but would prefer to play as an advanced forward. Depending on how we're playing, we could use him in different ways. I think we should go and make an offer for him. I don't want to spend all the money. Just like we're going to go on the never here. So I'm going to offer him 6 mil up front and then add 4 installments to make up 10 million. Not quite. I don't want to go 10. Let's go 8 and see what they think of that. They don't think much of it. Oh, they've just added that on. Well, we can bring them down on that. Okay, so that's made a bid for him. I think he'll do a decent job. And we've still got money in the bank as well. So we are away. And Danny Gomez is... the contract's being handled by my buddy. We've still got 200,000 in the kitty, in the wage budget. This guy, I don't know why you let him go out on loan. He's a really good goalkeeper, a really good, excellent backup goalkeeper. I don't know why you let him go out on loan. I'd have him as my backup goalkeeper. Really interesting. I keep wondering if I can recall him. I'm going to keep an eye on that. But I'm going to have to wait till Christmas before I can recall him. He just looks to me like he would be a very good goalkeeper. Whose haircut, Andy? Mine or that player's? What? Danny, what's his name? Danny Gomez. He does. He's got a very sensible haircut. He looks like a very smart boy. And we don't see many of those. He's got hair like mine, actually. Mepham, Tyler Adams. Let's not do anything with the captaincy and upset anybody for now. We've had lots of dressing room problems, but we did actually do very well at the end of last season. Lost 3-1 to Manchester United, but had a very good 3-1 victory against Newcastle, which left us in 14th, and the board were then quite pleased. So it wasn't a bad effort at the end of the day. We finished the season really well. Brian Clough would like him. You boys. What I'm just disappointed about is though I didn't get any anybody interested in being the assistant manager. I just think that could be so good, going through stuff, and disagreeing, agreeing on stuff. That would have been so much fun, but not to worry. Icardi, penalty taker. Attack no longer a weakness, means he's improving. Wants to alter his trait. Brings the ball out of defence. Probably not a good idea. So we'll discourage that. We'll tell him to stay back at all times. Bournemouth, yes, I did. What a game that was. What a game that was. Icardi, I like, yeah. So he's 34 years old. I think he wasn't free. He was 800,000. But if you look at him and look at his physicals, he's gone. His technicals and his mentals are still fabulous. But is he going to last a game with stamina of 8? I see him as a really good 30-minute impact sub. But if we play him as a poacher, I think if we... Although as a poacher, he's going to have to run off the shoulder, and I don't think he's got the acceleration anymore. So playing him as a DLF, his job really is to kind of like go deep for the ball and pick it up and distribute it. Has he got the ability to do that? He's got passing, 13 vision, 14. I don't know if he's got the strength to hold the ball up. There's lots of weaknesses that teams could exploit. But finishing-wise, he's a finisher. And if he gets into the penalty area, he's going to score a lot of goals. Trequartista. He doesn't like playing as a trequartista. I wonder why. The trequartista, you're right, Andy, because he would just hold his position, wouldn't he? But it's like linking up, and I guess he wants to score goals, but as a Trek, he's going to be a linking up player. Sure, I think he could play that role. He's kind of like going to be more of a playmaker, though, than in the same way that as a deep lying forward, he's going to be functioning more as a distributor than he is a goal scorer. I think I want to try him as a poacher first. Can he use that poaching instinct, that goal scoring instinct that he's got? He doesn't have to do anything, and we're not going to be passing into space for him. So if we can pass it to his feet, then we might have got a good player here as a poacher. Who knows? But I'm going to start him off as a poacher if that's the best way to go. Whew, look at all these prices. Patrick Wimmer. 26 years old. I mean, exceptional mentals, really good physical. I mean, this boy is a good player. There's no doubt about it. He's an exceptional player. Plays across the line, can play even as a striker. Can even play as a right back if necessary. What a good player he would be to come in. We'll wait. We'll put him on the short list. And then if there's money left that we can bring him in, I'd do it. He could even play as a left back if necessary. What a very good player for quite cheap. Would probably are we talking? Yeah, we're still talking about Icardi. I mean, it's a great signing. It's a great coup for the club. Mukuko, who played like an absolute twit for us, is now on sale for 79 to 94 million. And he was an absolute nightmare for us. That's very strange, isn't it? So there's still some good players out there. There's still time to bring players in and to sell players. So we are rocking and rolling. We're up and underway, and we're going to go and play Nottingham Forest. Gomez is on his way in, pending a work permit for a cost of 14 million. So that solves that problem of the striker. So Gabby Blackwell, okay. Who's Michael Golding? Could become a key player. Exciting young prospect. 21 years old. If he hasn't made it by now, it's too late. I'm probably tempted to put him on the transfer list. He's currently in the under-21s. Better try and sell him. And he's already transfer listed. Let's offer him via the transfer room. See what comes up. EFL Cup draw. We are away at Watford. Not the best draw that we could have. And let's go and play Nottingham Forest. Let's go and see how this... And what we need to do, I think, is... In this one, I need to clear this slot. And that one, we need to clear that slot. And then in this one, I need to load the other tactic. Where is it? It's not loaded, is it? It's not saved, that tactic. So I just want to save this game. This is Andrew, isn't it? Save Andrew. Yeah, the winter update has messed up my game. Something chronic. I think my tactic's not working anymore either. So I want to go back to the other one and save the tactic, because we can use Neil's tactic as a backup. So the tactic here, we just save that one. And go back to Andy's game. This is where it all gets very complicated, and you've got to be very, very careful. How would you get Zaire Emery? PSG take the piss every time. Very, very good question. I sometimes think it's just more luck than judgment and the right time. Try to get him on loan rather than try to buy him. That's probably the best way. PSG, it's always difficult buying players from PSG. So now we want to load up another tactic. This one, I still think this is way mega attacking. But I think it should be with a high press and squeeze. Because this is going to be what you need to do. And I'm going to go attacking. This is going to be what you use when you're attacking. But this is where we begin. And we'll move on to the assistant suggestion. I'm not quite sure who he would see as the first 11. I go along with that because it is really good in the air. Icardi is really good in the air, is he? He's got good heading. I didn't say his physicals don't allow him to be that good in the air. So one of this is tricky. Low crosses might not be best for him. Let's go mixed crosses. I don't think he's going to be that good in the air, because his physicals probably don't allow him to be. And now I need to look at the subs bench, see what he's done with the bench. Max Aarons, Aina, Dorrington, Katara. Where's the midfielders? Who's Zaire Emery? Brought him in. How much did he come in for? He was loaned out for Burnley. 30 million. Bought him for 30 million. Good player. We need one more midfield. McAtee. Yeah, I'd go along with that. He's even got a good bench here. Not sure about Massa and Dor, but why not? So we've got Parrott, who can play on the left, and Katara, who wants to leave. He can play on the right. So that looks like a pretty good team to me. And starting the season with most of the team that played together last year. There's 9 players in that team who were in the first team last season. It's kind of like trusting that they're going to perform better together this season, but they can't perform any worse. That's the thing about this. They can't perform any worse. So we're expected to get a draw. I'd like to think we could do better than that. I'd like to think that we're capable of doing a lot better. So have they changed avoid relegation from the Premier League? That doesn't make any sense to me. They've changed it, which is interesting, because it was mid-table. Be competitive, which means don't get hammered in the first round. What I want to do is have a look at the predicted finish. 15th. So we haven't gone up much. We just got to hope that Gomez is going to sign. How much wages? 50k. That's good. 8.25 million deducted. So what we got left? 6.7 mil. So we've still got money to spend. Just got to think about where we need to spend it. Danny Gomez, good player. Whether he's going to start this game, unlikely, because he'll have a 6.4 or a 6.3. Yeah, I mean, this is a possession-based tactic that I'm using here. I've been using this pretty much. It's just I feel like it's gone off the boil now. We just pass the ball around. It's shorter passing, slightly lower tempo. We're not actually being very aggressive in transition. We hold our shape. We don't counter press. But when we get the ball, we just pass it around. And it's very slow, very deliberate. Time wasting sometimes, because that means the guys slow it down. And that's worked really well. But after the update, it seemed to have stopped working. So I don't know. And that is me as a manager. If you're going to give me a style, my style is a very slow, controlled passing game, patient, trying not to give the ball away in transition, because I think that the most dangerous time in FM Soul is when you're going forward. And so that's why, like, hold shape. Make sure everything is okay before you decide to bomb up the pitch. So, yeah, I love a good possession-based tactic. And that's what we've got here. And hopefully we're going to see working out very well. I just want to have a look at Bournemouth because at the moment we have the line set to standard. I don't know if that's necessary for Bournemouth, so we'll go and have a look for Forest. So we'll go and have a look at not Bournemouth. What am I doing? Forest. At their team report quickly. And they don't have pace. Pace is not something that they have in abundance. So I'm going to push the line up. They're not ranked as one of the greatest teams. So I think we should push the line up. And we should play in a positive way. Hey, Sumiyashi. Phil for the Reading job. Is the Reading job available? I've got no jobs available here. The Reading job in real life? No, I don't think so. See, he wants to bring Gomez in instead. I don't. Because that's he's only been here a day. So give him a chance to unpack his bags first. He would have... Probably he would have a 6.2 if he started this game today. And I'm going to do the opposition instructions. We'll do it myself a couple of times to see if they can handle it. And just turn him onto his left foot. And Murillo. Right foot. We certainly don't want to close him down, Mr. Assistant. So we're just going to turn him onto his right foot. And I'm actually starting to think about why does he want me to get stuck in? Because they're very brave, they're very strong. So I'll be taking that off as well. Left foot. And tight mark this geezer. And then Danilo, he's a very good player, isn't he, Danilo? We're just going to tight mark him as well. It's just so much. It does make me think I need to step up more as well, because these two are so creative. Hudson-Odoi, quick. For a team with no pace, he's very pacey. I'm just going to hard tackle him. And Gibbs White, we need to tight mark him. And Elanga, they're good. They look like a good team to me. He's very fast as well. Pace is not something that they're actually lacking, is it? So we're going to put him onto his left foot and hard tackle him. He's not very brave. Is it his left foot? Yeah. He's not the bravest of individuals. Awomi, very, very good player in FM. I think we just need to tight mark him. I don't think we need to do that. We'll just tight mark him. And I think that's probably it. I want to make a couple of adjustments to our own team. We are not getting stuck in because they are strong. They are brave. But what I do want to do is to make sure that these boys on the wings are not closing down too much. Just take your time. Do not go rushing at them as they're about to receive the ball. And that's it. Let's go and play a football match. I don't think that you're really correct there. but that's a lovely vote of confidence. I struggled with this Bournemouth team last season. Do I want to say I want to be impressed? But then again, these fans turn up through thick and thin. They should be used to the fans now. I've got faith in you. Go out there, make the difference. These team talks do make a difference. And I've started running a test. And I did an interesting test where I played a game 15 times. And I actually, each time I gave them, because we were getting hammered every time. They're a much better team than the one we had out. But each time I gave them a different instruction. And the only time I managed to win it was when, instead of sympathizing with them, I actually said you weren't good enough. And they went out and turned it around. And so I think these team talks do make a difference. And if you get that right, it does make a difference. So who knows? I don't want to play in key. I've already changed that and it's changed it back. I want to see some of the game, especially early on in the game. And we're under the cosh, are we? Oh no, we're about to win the ball. No, we're not. So it's just about whether or not this tactic will still work. I'm not convinced it will. Good tackle. I haven't seen him do that last season. But, I mean, this will make me feel better anyway, because we're going to get a better look at the game rather than just us having 20 highlights and missing every one, and they score from all their highlights, which is so annoying about key highlights. So this should make me feel better. We've got time to make decisions. We are controlling possession. I'm just not seeing it at the moment. So I want to even bring this further down because I want to see the possession. I want to see where it's going. And that was nicely done. We're playing well at the back by the look of it. But it's all a bit cagey. We expect to be a bit cagey. And this could be a goal for the opposition, because every time that happens, it results in a goal. And that is a big worry. Favre does it a lot. But I'm hoping, because it's not key highlights, it's not the end of the world. I've got to stop him trying to dribble. He gets himself into trouble all the time. So he can't be a midfield right. And we are looking vulnerable here. I don't know why Forest are not ranked as a very good team. They have a very good forward line in FM terms. Good clearance. We're under the cosh a little bit, but that's okay. I just don't want him dribbling or passing. I'm going to make him a wide midfielder. But he hasn't got the ability to be a wide midfielder. This is a bit of an issue. They're certainly taking the game to us. When did Williams get a yellow card? I don't mind him scoring, Andy, but I certainly don't want him dribbling. He cost me a lot of goals last year just by trying to dribble. Is that a red card, referee? It looked like a dodgy tackle to me. So if we can just get a little bit of possession, start passing it around. Offside. This doesn't look very good at the moment, does it? I just think it's going to be very hard for this team to finish in mid-table. Very, very difficult. Good save by that goalkeeper. He is a good goalkeeper. He's a 4-star goalkeeper, so should be able to make a save or two. We've not been in the game. We've had all the ball. We're just not being creative enough. And that's what we've got to think about. How do we become more creative with the possession that we've had? And again, we're giving the ball away. Oh, look at this dreadful passing. There it is. What can we do? I just don't think this tactic works anymore. Let's push right up. And let's not hold shape. It's just dreadful. And I think that since the update, you've got to forget about using this tactic. Which breaks my heart, because I've been using it since FM22. It was almost invincible at one time. Oh, that's another thing that's happened since the update. You get highlights just cut off in the middle of something. And I don't like that either. Oh, we are in big trouble now. Something's going wrong. They're attacking us down both flanks, I think. But at the moment, I can't see the stats. This is not the start that I wanted. You think so? This is not the start that I wanted. And we're passing it around. Again, it stopped mid-highlight. Stop it. Let the highlight play out. We've been hammered. Absolutely hammered. We haven't actually created a chance. And it looks like we're going to go 3-0 down here. Oof, close. I think we're going to go this way. Icardi 6.3, Traore 6.3, Alex Scott 6.4. It's all these twits again. It's like, why are you like stopping everyone? But we've not been in the game. We've just simply not been in the game. Going to give them 30 minutes and then get most of them off. Give them 15 minutes, I mean. That's like... usually FM is kinder to you on your first game. And it's really got it in for this Bournemouth team. It's like Burnley all over again. It's like Burnley all over again. It does not like Bournemouth. It hated Burnley when I was out with Burnley. Oh, we might have to bring on some better players because these are rubbish. 6.3 now, 6.3. Oh, what an idiot. Are we playing out of defence? Do not do that. And why are we on play out of attack? Play into space. We haven't got forwards fast enough. That'll do it. We don't need that on. They're just simply not fast enough. Icardi's having a nightmare. But I don't expect anything less. I've been doing this save for 46 episodes. I'm yet to find a forward who's even half decent. So I expect he is having a nightmare game. One day we'll find a forward that can actually knows what he's doing and knows why he's there. But we've just totally been played off the park here. Look at them. So Danny Gomez is going to get his chance. Although advance forward, he's not fast enough, is he? Yeah, he is. He could play as an advance forward. Alex Scott. I just like... I wanted to sell all of this team. I really did. Because they are rubbish. Traore is dreadful. When I was doing it, I was going to sell a lot of them. Esposito, look at that. The other one, Tyler Adams, just as bad. But I haven't got anybody who can play instead of him. Goalkeeper, 6.4. I really don't believe it. Oh, God. Of course, he's new to the club. Of course, he's going to have a stinker on his first game. Every goalkeeper who's ever been bought plays badly in his first game. I know that. Same as every striker. In real life, it's always the way. Nobody ever has a good game on their first game. I know, I've watched enough football in real life to know that. Oh, God. There's another one who doesn't know where the goal is. God. We've been totally outplayed. Absolutely outplayed. So we bring on these subs and they haven't got a clue what they're doing either. This tactic is working better than the 4-1-2-2-1 though. At least we're in the game now. Oh, well of course we're going to get an injury. When I haven't got any subs left. I hate this game. I really hate it. It's vicious and nasty and I hate it. Absolutely hate it. Just when we were coming back into the game got afraid. Okay, let's take one of his players out then. Now we're going to be absolutely hammered. Dreadful. Dreadful, dreadful. Yeah, we're just going to get tanked here. I don't want to watch anymore. Absolutely, sue me, couldn't. And we got the same with, looks like we got the same with Gomez. We had the same with Langstaff. We had the same with Washington. We have had the same with every forward that we've brought in. They don't know where the goal is. Makuko, supposed to be a world-class footballer. Scored about 6 goals, I think. Had no idea what he was doing. Absolutely dreadful player. So why won't my strikers score? Probably get a hat full of goals for his next club. Every single one of them. Langstaff was the same. Couldn't get a goal out of him. He'd score 3 one week and then he'd disappear for 10 weeks. Absolutely rubbish. When the game has got it in for you and flicks that switch, there is nothing you can do. There is a switch in there, and I've seen it in my other save. Because we went from, in the other save, I have no idea what happened to them. We went from unbeatable, almost looking invincible, to losing 6 games on the trot. And like, there's a switch inside this game where the game just decides, okay, enough now, switch you off. And it does. And then there's nothing you can do until the game decides to put the switch back on. Absolutely. Let's get this over with. Well, we've got 9 of the idiots in this team who played last year, so it doesn't surprise me, really. Possibly one of the worst teams in the league, Nottingham Forest, and we've been hammered completely off the park. Oh, please do not do your stupid normal stuff and give me a consolation in the 90th minute or whatever. Do not do that stupid stuff. I'm not interested. I'm not going to jump up for joy. I'm not interested. But it probably is. Oh, he's giving us a penalty, has he? When we need a penalty, we never get one. But I told you, it's going to give us a consolation. That's why I said, do not do that. I mean, I can predict this game better than anybody, I think. I mean, if I could make money off this, I'd be a very rich man. I wouldn't need to do YouTube. The game is well dodgy. And I really hope this is not the base they're going to use for FM25. I really hope not. Went downhill in 23, and it's got even worse in 24. I mean, losing is fine. We got hammered off the park. I'm going to start with the other tactic. I don't think the 4-1-2-2-1 works anymore. After the update, they've killed it. So we'll start from now on with the other tactic and just see how we go. I'm proud of your efforts. We were not good enough. End of story. Don't make me laugh. I'm proud of your efforts. So, a perfect start then. Oh boy. 1 injury, 2 injuries. Oh, well, I didn't realise. I knew we'd got 1 injury. I didn't know we'd got 2 injuries in the game. And we'll just have a look at who we're playing next, Leicester. And we'll have a look at their injury history. Probably haven't had any. Just like, probably haven't had any injuries. Let's go to the home. Oh, they have got 1. They've got 1 out with a twisted knee. So they've got 1 injury. I wish I could go through the season as well, just having 1 injury a week. Oh, that was not a good start. So we're going to switch to the other one now. See how that one does against Leicester. Only sign Langstaff as a last resort, Andy. There it is. He'd be like, one-star player now. They're going to be pacey, aren't they? No, they're supposed to be a poor team as well. Well, we'll see how bad they are in a minute. When they come up against us, so they got a draw by the look of it in their last game. He's the saviour. He was one of those I listed who had no idea what he was doing. He didn't know where the goal was. None of it. Like, strikers are really hard to find. I cannot find a striker. Even in the other save. The strikers I bring in are rubbish, which is why I'm going strikerless in the other save, because it just doesn't make any sense anymore to buy strikers. Just does not make any sense to me, because none of them have ever done anything good. Perotti wasn't bad, but he's still not good enough. Oh, you want to be sold? Let's try it then. But we've also got an agreement with him that it's 44 million. I can sense your desperation. There's no interest in him. Okay? Nothing I can do then. That's because you were so bad last season. Everybody's looking at you and saying, what on earth would I want him for? As I am doing. Because it doesn't make any sense. Familiarity, Saul, with the tactic was good. They played it all pre-season. It was really good. It's just the game. The game messes with your head. Only in this save, it's doubled up that. That messing with your head has been doubled up. Yeah, I agree. He had a dreadful game. Oh, you want to... Yeah, I'll put him in the shop window. I've lost, like, the will to live already in this season. It's just that we played so badly. Yeah, again, the game is telling me already Bournemouth set for a season of struggle. So the game is telling me you're not good enough, pretty much. And expect another season where it's going to be... And I know that you're going to say, well, that's only the manager talking. But we had, in the last season, we had that famous email that said 5 games before the end of the season. And that famous email that said, the big game of the season is coming up on the 5th of May. The game against Sunderland. And that fell out. Now I know what it feels like to be a real manager, especially a Manchester United manager. And the email actually said the big game of the season's coming up on the 3rd of May against Sunderland, and that is exactly what happened. We had to win that game in order to survive. The game has just told me we're going to struggle. So fine. No problem. Oh boy. Well, we'll see if this tactic does any better. I doubt it, but we'll give it a shot. At least the board have reduced their demands I think they know how difficult this is. And they've gone for a let's not get relegated demand rather than hey, we're going to do really well and finish mid-table. I might actually leave the job. If anything comes up in that job centre window, I'm going to apply for it. I've got to stop what the computer is doing at the moment. I've got to just stop and say, no, we are not going to play it your way anymore. So sometimes leaving your job, and then if you resign again straight after, you've confused the hell out of the match engine and it doesn't know what to do. Because at the moment it's just trying to get inside my head. I did say that tactic would make space out on the right, and there's an example of it. Because it just overloads the left, and these two players, the shadow striker and the right winger, were on their own there. That's because I guess everybody had been dragged over there. So if we look at that, you've got three players in this. It's not quite. Where does the second player appear from? Who is that? That's Esposito. Traore was already out there. So yeah, you've got an overload of players on the left, which dragged all these players over to this side, leaving these two are totally free. And I did say that looked to me like how it was going to work. And if we can score a few goals, that'd be quite nice. Instead of putting them in row Z all the time. So maybe this is the tactic we should be going with, because it's something the match engine is not familiar with. You just said fill out, Sumi. It's a good name, that, Sumi. Go on, Sumi. You just said fill out. Now Phil's at the wheel. Tell me how good does it feel? Oh boy. I think you're probably right. We need to probably give Emery more game side. Your average Twitter user. Yeah, changing your mind. I'm going to say we're doing well. Yeah, we're doing well, but we can do better. Just keep going. The midfielders have been okay. So we'll just miss out the midfielders. So keep going. Well, this isn't... I mean, we are definitely the better team in terms of creativity. Leicester haven't had a shot on target. But we haven't had the possession. But then, this is not a possession-based game, is it? So, we can't expect the possession. It's a more direct passing style. Maybe that's all it needed, was just to pass more direct. Let's make some changes. At least he's not having an absolute nightmare. Now, this is the time when you would bring on Icardi. That's the time when you'd bring on Icardi, because I think he is an impact sub. Fresh as a sub. Scott is injured now again. We got another injury. Favre will have to play there then. And Max Aaron's not playing very well. Lovely. Oh, he didn't put a... Of course he's not going to play very well. He didn't put a right wing back, a right full back on the bench. So of course he's having a bad game. But Aina can play there. Kotera is poor, but I don't have anybody. Maybe I can play Faver in there. Still not going to work, is it? Can Adams go up? No. Traore. Oh, he can come in here, can he? We haven't tried him out. Avramov. And he's fit again. Let's go and forget to keep forgetting to do this, don't I? I've got to go and do the opposition doodahs. Uh, 1-0. Is that a bit like the Arsenal? 1-0 to the Arsenal. Are we playing on our own here? No, there's plenty of games. How come we're up in 7th? There's tons of games going on here. Come on, Icardi. This is what you're supposed to be doing for me. Impact sub. Let's get one of these midfielders off. I think we have to play Emery. We have to give him game time, and the midfielders are not playing very well. I should have sold Scott and Adams. On paper, they're very, very good players, but unfortunately, they're just not delivering. The 1-0 win, we'll take that. Seemed anxious. Get on with it. Up the cherries. Right up them. Oh God, Arsenal next. That'll be fun. What time is it now? Oh, it's 21:56. Alex Scott is injured, but only for 3 days. I don't know why he got so happy. Like, why would you say somebody was superb in front of goal when he scored 1 goal? I don't think we're going to be too successful against the Arsenal, but we are in 8th. Early days, yeah. Still plenty of time to get into the relegation zone. Oh, Liverpool played City, did they? We were the better team, but we still can't score goals. We still can't find a forward. So at 21:57, guys, Andy, the opposition's team have amazing strikers. Like they very, very seldom miss, as we've seen. We, on the other hand, are like, can I just do a swap with them? Like, can I just have the Nottingham Forest striker and we'll swap ours? But the problem with that is that ours will go and score loads of goals for Nottingham Forest. I don't know how it works. But I'm going to call it a day for now. We're not going to be playing Arsenal today. We're going to open up with Arsenal. Arsenal's the kind of game I should go back into that 4-1-2-2-1. Not play this attacking football, but 4-1-2-2-1 looked absolutely awful. I think that tactic has gone. I'm going to have to invent another one. So at the moment, things are okay. We played 2, won 1, lost 1. If we keep that up for the rest of the season, we'll be okay. But it's going to be a tough season again. Can I do it? The worst thing is there's no available jobs. Absolutely none. Which is a bit sad. Have I got that set? Job centre. There are jobs around. There are plenty of jobs around. So why is my screen not showing it? Oh no, there are no jobs available. That's why. No jobs available. So we'll see you all on Sunday. Is it Thursday today? Yep, we'll see you all on Sunday. And fingers crossed, we've got Arsenal, Manchester City and Manchester United on Sunday. Don't get any tougher than that. Thanks for coming along, guys. Good to see you all again. And hopefully we'll see you on Sunday. Have a great night. I'm going to go and have a pasty and try and settle down. And we'll see you on Sunday. Good night, guys. And thanks, Andy, for the submission. Some very, very good players there. I just don't know why they're not playing for Bournemouth. I just don't know why. But they're very good players. That was a very good window. It's not your fault. It's the game. I'm convinced. The game has decided this is going to be a very, very tough save. But it will make winning something, when we finally do, even more pleasurable. See you soon, guys. See you on Sunday.